Hey there, I'm going to take you on a quick tutorial of this crop planning spreadsheet that I made. If you want to download the spreadsheet because you don't have it yet, you can find a link in the description. And if you finish this and decide that you really want to understand this in more detail, I've recorded another longer version that you can watch whenever you have time to do that. But this is meant to be just a couple minutes long to show you the basics. So let's dive in and get started. When you get to the crop plan tab here in the spreadsheet, you'll notice that there's an opportunity to enter your zip code. What this is going to do is it's going to look up the frost dates for your area and then import them into the section below. If you're in a warm climate like Southern California, or you're not in the United States, this will not work, but you can still enter your own frost dates here manually. But the truth of the matter is, this is only used to indicate the bookends for your season, and they don't really impact the plan that you make below. So I'm going to enter in my zip code where I grew up, and you'll notice that in a moment here, it pulls up the frost dates for my area. So April 25th and October 13th as the first and last frost dates of the season. And then below that, we have the beginnings of a crop plan. So I've already entered in a lot of information here. And then on the right, you can see that there's a graph visually indicating what this plan looks like. So you can see my staggered plantings throughout the season in bed Northwest 1, and those have been listed here. So if you go through this and you forget what something is, you can always look up here the comments that I've made in each of the columns to give you an idea of what this is and how it works. And you'll also notice that there are some hidden features here as we go through this that I'm going to show you. But first, let's enter a new crop so you can see what it looks like. So let's say in Northeast 5, I'm going to do lettuce. I'll enter lettuce, and let's say that I'm intending that for a restaurant, and I'm going to plant that on 4/20. So you can see when I enter this, it automatically calculates the estimated harvest date. If I want to do them as transplants, I can start them on 4/20 and then transplant them outdoors on 5/10 maybe. And let's say that I'm planting 500 row feet. So as I was entering all of this, you notice that it estimated the harvest date, and it also graphed it over here. So visually, it's very easy to see how this stacks up compared to everything else. You'll also notice that with all of these different headings, you can filter or sort. So let's say that I want to line everything up by date. And I have this warning in here that you can override, but I put that in there just to make sure that people don't accidentally remove something. And now you can see that everything is lined up here by date. So over here on the right, the graph is lined up as well. So if you wanted to understand exactly what you have to do in order of when you need to do it, you can do that here after you finish your crop plan. You'll also notice that up here, there are some hidden columns. So I condensed this view just to make it really easy to get started, but you can imagine there's a lot more detail that you might want to add to this as you get started. So if you expand those, you'll see some hidden features in here, including the variety, the rotation count, and you can also enter in a final harvest if you're gonna do cut and come again with kale or lettuce, or have tomatoes in the ground all summer. This is helpful for understanding how long a crop is going to be in a particular bed. And then this is being pulled in from the database as well, just to give you a reminder of what has been entered there. So that's the basics on how to get started. I encourage you to dive in and experiment. You really can't screw up. You can always do Command Z if you do, and be back at where you started. I do want to quickly point out that the way that this is being able to calculate the estimated harvest is it's pulling in information from the database. So if we scoot over here at the bottom, you can see that one of the features that makes this really easy to get started is I have a database of dozens of different crops, all with information already entered about their days to maturity, the expected spacing, anticipated yield for low, average, and high yield season, as well as some prices for market and restaurant. I would expect you to change all of these to customize it to your region or your locale, and you can do that here. And when you make changes here, it'll update all the calculations in the spreadsheet for you automatically. So please, I encourage you to do that. And as always, if you have any questions about this, please watch my other video, which is longer and more detailed, or reach out with questions. I'll talk to you soon.